Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. I have a very important thing to say, very important. Before I start, I would like to say a word of prayers. Almighty Yah, I pray that you speak through me and touch the hearts of everyone that's going to listen to this, that they might have a rethink and get to know you more. In Yahushua's name I pray, amen. So I would like to read something first before I proceed. And that is mass hysteria. So I believe that Africa has undergone an extremely massive hysteria, that we have forgotten our history. We have been brainwashed. So let me say this, let me try to read what the meaning is. It typically involves a group showing irrational symptoms or panic, but not necessarily passivity. In other words, what is described is mostly closely related to the inhibition or paralysis that can occur in mass hysteria or through intense groupthink, where collective emotions leads to no action but to social passivity, even in danger. Let me repeat that last phrase. Where collective emotions, so you would show lots of emotions like what's going on in Nigeria, but it would lead to no action but to a social passivity, even in danger. So we just become passive, passive aggressive, but no, even in danger, by the way. And that is what I see very common in Nigeria, especially. So to the extent that we tend to have things like we're so used to dark humor, even in danger, we joke about things, even in death, we still joke about things. We don't understand how severe these things are. So what's happening currently in Nigeria, with the events of the life imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want to say something that is very touching, and it might seem very, very annoying to so many. I want you guys to see this as a humiliation. We need to call it for what it is. This is a humiliation of the Southeasterners, the Igbo tribe. This is clearly a humiliation. Why I call this a humiliation is, if there is any group that Nnamdi Kanu has been exposing as to their invasion of Nigeria, is the Fulanis, who have their headquarters where? In Sokoto, the Caliphate, the Emir. And that is where they took him to serve his term. It's like a trophy, when you win a battle, you take the spoils of war back to the king, So it just looks as if, it looks as if the Emir instructed, bring me the man that has been shouting, against my reign. So the Emir could actually control the president of Nigeria. That's what has been happening. We need to call it for what it is. Bring me the man, and they brought him immediately to come and serve his time in the place he so much detests. That is the humiliation, for us to use our tongue to count our teeth. Is to send a message which we see to break the spine of the Southeasterners. But then you would ask yourself, why is this happening? Why is all these things happening, right? There's a reason. And for every Southeasterners, you need to understand the reason. Because I need to start from home, then I would expand to the greater population. Now, we do have this saying in Igbo land that we are of the lost tribe of Israel. That is partly the truth. That is the truth, but when I mean partly the truth, it has an extension beyond just the Igbo tribe. So let me give an example now. The Yorubas are your distant cousins. The Ashantis are your distant cousins. Those across the Western Africa region are your distant cousins as well. In Central Africa, they are your distant cousins. We stem from the lineage of Shem. You need to study your history to understand what is happening now, right? Now, the Fulanese can trace their roots to the Hamites, right? From Noah. So Noah gave birth to 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. There's a reason. The people that are acting on us in Africa, they are acting on us based on the history we have forgotten. We need to study our history to know why this is happening. It is linked. English language has been used to cover history. That is why you can hardly read the Bible and get to understand it, properly. You can hardly understand the Bible because of the language it has been translated into. So if you have any words you have in your native language, if you translate it to English, it gets lost in translation. There is a reason for that. English language is adulterated. So you need to understand that we have been lied to about our history. We have really been lied to. 97% of everything you know is a lie, if not more. Down to the calendar we use, down to the dates. We've always known this, right? But we don't understand the extent. So it all ties and boils down to what is happening today. It's all coming to a close, actually. That is why you see what is going on in Nigeria. So the Fulani coming down to, don't fall for the gimmick, right? I pray that Nnamdi Kanu has strength. I pray that he remains in strength up to the very end. Now, we Igbos shouldn't see this as a humiliation, like I said earlier, but it is a humiliation, but don't take it to heart, actually. Rather, we should use it to remember and ask ourselves, what did we do wrong that led to this? It's in the Bible, actually. And I'm going to break it down, but it's a lengthy conversation, so I'm going to be giving it in bits and pieces. So I might not say it sequentially. I might go a bit further and come backwards because it's very diverse. It's very, very diverse. It would urge you to do your own research, to try to connect the dot yourself. So the basic thing we should understand that we, the Africans, are the true Israelites. The original name is Yasharel in Hebrew. So we have the last covenant, right? And Christ came from our lineage. Now, but Christ came and died for the sins of the entire world. So we kind of like messed it up. So we cannot claim him to ourselves. He died for the whole world, back to Adam, right? But due to the sins that we Africans have been committing, we have been committing sins from we were taken to Egypt, we came back, we were still worshiping pagan gods, we went to Babylon, we were exiled to Babylon for 70 years, we came back, we were still worshiping pagan gods. So one of the last punishment, you can find that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, where it prophesied that we would be taken away from our lands in boats. Now that is the Creator has given the power to the devil to enact this punishment on us. That is why you see the slave trade from the eastern part of Africa and also to the western part, which is the Atlantic. Now, that is what has been happening because we refuse to turn back to our Creator. So let me give an example. So you come to Igbo land, you see all the arrows say Ana this, Ana that. You come to Yoruba land, you see their own deities. These are the pagan gods we have been worshipping. We picked from the Tower of Babel, from Egypt, from the different tribes that are not even linked to the tribe under Israel. From different descendants, from Ham and Japheth, we picked those pagan gods and continued worshipping them. And that is what led to the pagan gods we're worshipping now in this our lands. And yet we still do not want to remember that God has punished us because of that. Until we come back to Him, the Creator. Until we come back to Him, we are going, not me, I have, but I'm saying this as a collective, speaking to my people as well as everyone of the children of the children of Israel. So until we come back to worshiping our Creator, God would allow the enemies to do what they are doing to us. It is that simple, point blank. It is that simple. I'm going to give it a pause here so I don't make the videos too long, and I'm going to do more videos concerning the history so we understand how we got to this point. Thank you.